Hey, hello. Thank you very much for having me today. And good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, fellow builders, rebels, and visionaries. We are often told that history is written by the victors, but I really believe the history is written by the architects. For centuries, decentralization was just a word, a philosophical whisper in the halls of 18th century France, a political dream of the Anti-Federalists. Ideally, it was meant power to the people, but in practice, power always found a way to centralize. Kings became corporations, town squares became silos, data silos. The ideology was there, but infrastructure was missing. We had the wheel, but we didn't have the rails. Until now. I stand before you today not just to talk about crypto or code. I'm here to talk about the most important migration in human history. We are moving from the era of don't be evil to the era of can't be evil. We are witnessing the evolution of decentralization from an ideology into the very concrete, unstoppable infrastructure of our digital reality. Let's look back. The Cypherpunks of the 90s. Eric Hills, Timothy May, Hall Finney. They saw the writings on the wall. They knew that in an electronic age, privacy is necessary for an open society. They knew that if we didn't build systems to protect our anonymity, we lose our sovereignty. They wrote code. They wrote manifestos. And they were fighting a war with their ideas. Then came 2009, Satoshi Nakamoto. Satoshi Nakamoto didn't just write a manifesto, he deployed a protocol. Bitcoin became far more than money. It was the first proof that we could coordinate globally, securely, and trustlessly without a king, without a bank, or a government. It was the big bang of a decentralized infrastructure. Then came Ethereum. Vitalik looked at Bitcoin and said, okay, if we can decentralize money, why can't we decentralize everything else? Laws, agreements, organizations. Suddenly the smart contracts turned code into law. We moved in phases. Phase 1, from the ideology, trying to make cryptography for freedom. Phase 2, currency, Bitcoin. Phase 3, computation with Ethereum. And now we are in phase 4, civilization. What does a decentralized civilization look like? It starts with the most fundamental unit of society, you. For the last 20 years, we have lived like digital slaves. We worked on the lands of Meta, Google, and X. We created content, we generated data, but they owned everything. The data, our identities. If they ban you, you just disappear. This ends with DIDs, decentralized identifiers. They are the state-of-the-art self-sovereign identity, SSI. It's not a buzzword. It's a shield. With DIDs, your identity is not a row in a corporate database. It is a cryptographic key in your pocket. You prove who you are without revealing what you are, what you own. You can log in without being tracked. You own your reputation, your history, your connections. This is the return of dignity to our digital age. But identity is useless if you have nowhere to speak. Okay, we are seeing the rise of internet infrastructure decentralization. We are building networks that cannot be shut down. We have DePIN, decentralized physical infrastructure networks. People are deploying antennas, sensors, routers, storage. They are building community-owned internet services. We have IPFS, we have ReFi, the permanent library of Alexandria. A web where 404 not found is a relic of the past. This is how we defeat mass surveillance, not by asking the NSA nicely to stop looking, but by building architecture where the walls are made of math, not paper. Well, if sovereign individuals and unstoppable networks, we can build new types of institutions. Enter DAOs, the DAOs, the Decentralized Autonomous Organizations. Forget about LLCs, forget about C Corps. DAOs are the foundation for the new global entities. They are fluid, they are transparent, and borderless. We are seeing service DAOs replacing agencies, investment DAOs replacing VCs, impact DAOs replacing NGOs. Imagine now a civil society organization that's not bogged down by bureaucracy, but is run by code and consensus. A global collective pooling resources to buy a land for conservation, governed not by a board of directors in Geneva, but by people on the ground protecting the forest. And this is happening right now. This is happening right now. DAOs are the native governance layer of the internet. They allow us to coordinate human potential on a scale we have never seen before, with transparency that makes corruption a bug, not a feature. Now, I know what skeptics say. It's all about speculation. It's all about DeFi casinos. To them, I say, you are looking at the engine and complaining it's loud, while ignoring we are riding a rocket ship. Web3 is so much more than DeFi. We have DeSci, Decentralized Science. We are curing disease that Big Pharma ignores. Patients and researchers, they are owning the IP of new drugs. They are funding research for longevity through tokenized communities. We are democratizing the very discovery of truth with DeSoc, Decentralized Social. We are rebuilding the town square. Platforms like Farcaster, Lens, Blue Sky, Nostr, they are proving that you can have a social graph that you own, not the app. If the app becomes toxic, you take your community or followers and leave. The graph remains. And we have ReFi, Regenerative Finance also. We are using programmable money to save the planet somehow. Carbon credits that are actually verifiable on-chain. They are currencies that are backed by natural capital, not debt. This is the state of the art. We are not just moving tokens around. We are moving value. We are moving science. We are moving culture, and we are moving truth. And we have evolved from the ideology of the 18th century to the infrastructure of the 21st. But infrastructure is neutral. It can be used for the good or for control. The tools we are building today, zero knowledge proofs, DIDs, DAOs, these are the tools that will shape the human freedom for the next century. We are the architects. The code we ship is the constitution of the future. So, do not build for speculation. Build for sovereignty. Build for privacy. Build for freedom. Build for the user who lives under a regime where speaking the truth is a crime. Decentralization is no longer just an idea we talk about at parties. It's the concrete, steel, and fiber of a free world. Let's build it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Edelson. And let's see very, very quickly.